Welcome back to The Factor Uncensored. Has Barbers Hill Independent School District violated the Texas Crown Act? That question is at the center of a trial beginning Thursday. That's tomorrow. This stems from 2022, when the district said student Daryl George's hair in locks does not comply with the dress code. You're looking at that hair there. The district's policy prohibits boys from having hair longer than their eyebrows. Now, his parents filed the federal lawsuit against the school district as part of a violation of the Crown Act, which bars discrimination based on hairstyle and texture. However, the district argues the law does not say anything about the length of the hair. Joining us to talk about it, a man who signed onto the Texas Crown Act, along with State Representative Jolanda Jones, who's in the audience for another segment. She will get on me. Texas State Representative Ron Reynolds. So first of all, for those who are trying to figure out exactly what does the Texas Crown Act cover and exactly what is it? What is it and what does it cover when it comes to hair in Texas?
First of all, Isaiah, it was very hard to pass this legislation in Texas in a conservative legislature. The Crown Act was passed with bipartisan support. It covers people with protected hairstyles, dreads, locks, twists, for being able to wear their natural hair. And this was really came to us when you covered, one of the first people that covered this was DeAndre Arnold. He had dreadlocks and he was a student at Barbers Hill. We were determined to pass the Crown Act because of what Barbers Hill did to him when he was a student there a few years ago. So we passed it.
And so now we have Daryl George.
That's right, that's right.
Similar to, we're looking at, we can put that back up, guys. The first segment that we did here on The Factor that also played a role in getting the Crown Act passed. But now we have Daryl George, and they're saying what about his hair?
They're saying that, hey, you guys passed the Crown Act, but it doesn't cover length. In other words, we have a school policy that prohibits boys from having a certain length of hair that comes maybe to their shoulders. They're saying that his hair, even though it's pinned up, it violates the school policies. So damn the Crown Act, you're violating our school policy. So whatever you guys passed, it doesn't apply to our Barbers Hill policy. We can continue to discriminate against these black students like we have been doing, and we're going to continue to do it. And the first day of school until now, he's been in school suspension and suspended. He's not been able to attend classes there at Barbers Hill, even though we passed the Crown Act.
It almost feels personal by Barbers Hill's ISD and the direction that they're taking.
Isaiah, I don't play the race card, but this school district, when Maya Angelou said it, when people show you who they are, believe them the first time. They showed us when it came to DeAndre Arnold. Now they're showing us with Daryl. And this school superintendent, Greg Poole, took out a full-page article in the Houston Chronicle that says, basically, I'm going to sum it up, that students need to conform. Conform to what? Conform to European standards. So Barbers Hill is definitely
he didn't say exactly European standards.
Well, he didn't say that, but he said conformity. Those were the words he used. Conformity. What do the students need to conform to? This was in response to the Crown Act. So it was cold. This was a dog whistle that either you're going to get your black ass like these other white students or you ain't going to be a student here at Barbers Hill. That is the message that he's sending to these black students.
And the court case tomorrow, that begins tomorrow, exactly what will that address for those who are wondering?
So the court will make a decision of the legislative intent. So myself, Representative Jolanda Jones, Representative Retta Bowers, we're testifying in court tomorrow that the Crown Act covers the length. You cannot have dreads, braids, twists without having a certain length of hair, right? So we're there to testify. The judge will make a decision to find out whether Barbers Hill, their school policy is in violation of the Crown Act. And if so, then the student will be immediately allowed to go back to school. If not, then he'll have to appeal.
And when you say dreads and locks, it would be assumed that it's longer than the average hair.
You and I, hell, we can't grow that. It takes a certain length to even get there.
What your damn self. I can grow some locks.
So it is in bad faith. Honestly, it is in bad faith. This is the only school district in the state that is saying, hey, Who cares about the Crown Act? We have our own policy here. And it's in bad faith, and it goes against the spirit of why we passed the law in the first place. They know we passed to protect the students because of what they did to DeAndre. So it goes back. They're just trying to hide behind a loophole that they think that they can circumvent the law, even though it was passed with the intent to protect students like Daryl.
All right. State Representative Ron Reynolds, thank you for joining us, and we'd love to have anyone from that school district to come and sit down and talk with us, or we'll come to you.